Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program How Not to RP-1 Addendum. So, according to the chat, anyway, we actually have now the technology to make a push for an orbital rocket. So, we're going to try to build one of those out and do some testing of that in this episode. I'm going to let a lot more of old me do the talking in this episode than in previous Addendum episodes. But basically, we're going to start here with our Colgate Express rocket. I think we called it Jester initially, but well, yeah, it should be pretty apparent. But we have unlocked the next node in avionics. So we actually have a avionics prototypes. Anyway, we can make a science core avionics module that is lighter than the Araby sounding rocket, or avionics core, I guess, which doesn't give us any actual control. We will be spin stabilizing, but yeah, it saves us a bunch of weight. And so I think we're kind of right at that marginal edge where we can actually build a big enough rocket to put this upper stage in orbit. And so that's what we're going to try to do. We're basically going to try a narwhal design where we're going to have a two-stage B sitting on top of a larger, what would be suborbital ballistic sounding rocket below that, and just hope that we can get enough oomph under it to get this top stage up in orbit. So I am, at this point, learning how to integrate the science parts into the avionics core itself, so we don't have these things sticking out all weirdly and, well, just looking silly. So now we're going to build out the second stage of our B. I think we're going to use the XASR for both stages, or I think maybe we're going to use the AJ10 variant of this engine for the, I don't know, the bottom stage of the B. But Ampersand was helping me out in chat, trying to figure out exactly what we're going to do, and, well, mostly it's just going to be copy pasta. But yeah, AJ10 for the bottom stage does mean that we actually need to size up the bottom stage B just to get a somewhat appropriate runtime out of it. It looks like, yeah, we don't have a whole lot. Also, we need to change the fuel orientation and then stretch it out to be quite a bit bigger. And we're going to get a little bit of overburn on both of these stages. I think a second or so on the upper stage and 4 seconds on the I don't know, the middle B stage. I'm counting backwards. I wanted to say second stage, but I guess, yeah, either way you count it, it is the second stage. Third stage being the top B, second stage being middle B. First stage will be a much bigger liquid-fueled ballistic suborbital rocket that will sit underneath it, but we'll get more into the design details of that part a little bit later in the episode, because it is a very particular way of doing this. And so now we're going to try to build out our actual guidance part, avionics, that will do control, at least until we fire the B engines and get that stuff kind of going. So it's going to be kind of the nose cone for the suborbital booster stage, and then we'll get the tank and try to suss out the details after we've got a more round idea of what exactly our tonnage is going to look like. So for the rest of this build, I'm just going to go ahead and turn you over to old me live during the broadcast. So I think we're using the A9s currently. No, that's not true. We're using the XLR-41, which is just the Americanized version of the same thing. So what you're telling me is that I need to unlock the NAA 75-110A. RD-103 is more capable, and you've already bought the 60-ton pad. A9 is very bad. Never unlock it. Okay. I don't think I did. Did I unlock the RD series? Nope. It's the RM65. Mm-hmm. Ouch. So 50 grand for the 103. Oh, I do. It's gonna be 50 grand to get into it, though, which is half of our current monies. Whereas we could unlock the redstone engine for 33,000. A savings of, lots of money. Well, then we're probably going to go the cheap route. God, I just don't want to spend the money is the problem. Goodbye money, I loved you. Current config A6. So, do we need... Very stable, okay, good. Minute 10 is our current runtime. We can run this for 2 minutes 25, so we can actually go pretty dang big on this. Wow. I mean, we're out of our spec for our super narwhal here. But 95... Actually go a little longer. We'll run it hot, max utilization on a tank, and reduce the stickitude. Good call, thank you. We'll overburn by a little bit. That still puts us at 9,600. We should probably do the same for these. Although I could reduce this tank length because we have this tank to pull from also. So let's go ahead and load you. And then reduce this. Let's peg them all out. Peg them all out. Let's reduce the stick. We'll start up here. What's our runtime? 40 seconds. We're at 47. I guess we'll go for it. Super narwhal is best narwhal. Might need to go to our larger diameter B. Pointy boy. Super pointy boy. 3.9. What's our runtime on you? Isn't it like 52 seconds? I feel like a 57-second overburn is not that bad of a deal. 5 seconds pass rated is always safe. 7 to 10 is probably fine. Past 10 it gets spooky. So I guess we'll leave those settings where they are. We're real close to 10k on this. But where are we over? Just on our mass. We have the 60-ton pad. Our height, 27.5. But that should be adjusted by our pad size also, right? And I wish I could switch the pad from in here, because our 60-ton pad should be done. These are the ones that kick you off to the side, right? So we're just going to use 2 of you. So I can't even simulate this because you can switch the pad from in the VAB. Oh, can I? Click Show Build List in the KCT window. 60-ton pad. Yay! Thank you so much, Ampersand. Sweet! Okay, this is no longer the Jester A1. This is the Narwhal Orbital Launch Vehicle Prototype 1A. No love, 1A. Let's simulate this. Bring up MechJeb, Smart ASS. Rotation. Surf, that's what we want. Let's run this flight, see if we do it, then we'll kill all of our Delta V by adding all the things that we probably need. Because this has a setup for hot what in the absolute hell happened here? That's just a good omen, right? That means it's definitely going to work. Obsolete pretty soon. This is a simulation, Beastly Pig. We're not actually going to orbit. Hello, Kraken. Hello, ignition. That worked well. That worked really well. So after that clearly successful first test flight simulation, we're going to come back into the VAB and just, you know, wiggle things around and see if that doesn't help de-crackenify all of this. And also, we need to add RCS thrusters to our upper avionics stage and a decoupler, because those were things I forgot to do first time around. So yeah, the flight plan is basically booster flies up, separates from avionics core. Avionics core gets us angled in to our prograde vector, starts the spin stabilization, provides ullage, and then bees go brr. That's the hope anyway. And the thought was also that maybe we should have some fins on the bottom of this thing to, I don't know, help keep us stable in that first sector of flight. And now that we've got our tonnage kind of dialed in, we're going to tune that avionics to as small and as light as we can get it. And then, of course, I forgot to add thruster fuel. So I thought initially about adding it to the avionics tank. There's really just not enough room there, so we are going to add spherical tanks and just kind of, you know, sink them up in there. So there's also quite a bit of discussion on how much battery we need. I think someone was telling me that they just always default to 2000 electric charge for that booster stage and its avionics core, just to make sure you've got enough to do your initial burn, ejection of the booster stage, and then waiting until close to apogee to firing your B stages. And getting that timing correct is going to be absolutely crucial if this has any chance whatsoever of actually getting to orbit. So now that we've got some of the battery added in, we need to see about how much fuel we could maybe wedge in there. Again, I eventually decided against this so that we could size down the avionics core and get it as light as possible. So we are going to attach some spherical tanks here, size them to something kind of appropriate, and fill them with high test peroxide, because that's what our thrusters are running on. We don't need a whole lot. I think that's like what, 12, maybe 15 units per now. And we do not want them to interfere with the decoupler. Also, we want to make sure that it's not going to cause an explosion when we separate, so we'll just get those tucked up into the avionics tank, where I'm sure it's a perfectly legitimate way of doing things. And now, as I mentioned before, we're going to attach some wing sections. Just make sure we got our staging in order first, just in order to help keep this thing stable as it's starting its initial descent. But those take not very long at all, and so I will turn you back over to old me for yet another simulated test flight. All right, here we go. Ignition. Hey, we're going straight this time. Yippee-ki-yay. Oh, and Calvin, if you're still in the chat, how do you pronounce reconnaissance? Is it reconnaissance or reconnaissance? I need to know. Right. If there's any other Canucks in the chat, please, how do you pronounce reconnaissance? You want to get to like a 150, 200 kilometer apogee on the Redstone, then coast up and fire the reconnaissance. Reconnaissance. French is just so weird to me. Lady Crash was near fluent in French for a good long while. She took a lot of it in high school and college. I speak exactly zero French. I speak exactly zero anything, really. I speak two languages, English and bad English. Right on, Beastly Pig. Thank you very much for coming by. It's good to see you. Okay, the way I originally wanted to fly the 300-kilometer rocket, I need to get this angle over. No way, I originally wanted to fly the 3,000-kilometer downrange rocket, which would be badly. Yeah, there's 140. 150, let's go ahead and just lean this all the way in. Currently experiencing advertisements. What the hell? There should not be mid-roll ads ever here. Yeah, we went way too effing high. Had to reload. Ah, okay. Sorry for that, ampersand. Dunk. All right, let's go ahead and stage this off. Stage this off. Activate RCS. And get angled in. Be a reasonable trajectory with all the DV. I guess we shall see. Let's get this set to 0. Two minutes. We'll come out about 40 seconds of lead time. Give it some ullage and spin it up. There we go. Oh, well, aiming a couple of degrees below horizon. Gotcha. Off. How about we just kill rotation? Just let it be a thing. Well, I've already screwed it up. Okay. Ignition. About throttle. There it is. We're away. This seems a lot of DV. It'll be fine. It seems like we still have this last staging thing to do, which has to be timed. What's the spool up time on the XASR? Like, is it 2 seconds? Is it 3? All right, well, we'll give it 2 and see what happens. Two is too long. Okay. Staging. And we're away. Perfect. 1 second. You were dead on, ampersand. Thank you. I think this is even our very first simulated orbital. My god, and it's only been an hour and a half. We're making excellent progress today, everyone. Don't know how to type a sound. Sorry, Calvin, I missed that. It's very hard to type out a sound. Simulated, but not yet orbital. Yeah, I think we arced up too high. Unfortunately. Not an orbit. Dang. So I wonder if this is a flight profile thing, because that is pretty dang close. Terminate. And that test run, even with my terrible piloting, was just a couple of meters per second shy of actually hitting orbit. So we're a lot closer than I think I gave myself credit for when I was actually building this thing. So we're just going to make no actual changes here whatsoever, and then get it back out on the launch pad and try to run this again, hopefully with better timing. All right. No, surf. Execute. No, I do not want SAS on. Throttle set to full ignition. Going. Let's just go ahead and lean it over a degree right now. Add asymmetric jet engine booster for more hilariousness. We're not that far off. I just have not researched any jet engines at all, which costs more money, but I will stick some whittles on this. Just to make a point, I guess. I don't know. Jet assisted takeoff, right? So we're also going to light the bees much sooner, and we're going to try to get more out of that HTP by using it for ullage for longer, if we can. Weirdly, it's a bad idea to start turning over until you've got up at least a little speed. Oh, I definitely agree. Straight up, like, well, who called it? Our fins just tore off. Hey, free Delta V. That first funny jet engine? Yeah, the Whittle, I think it's called. I could be wrong. Yeah, turn. Thank you. Yes. I got distracted for a second and our apogee is getting out of control. So this is a terrible test because we need to be like here-ish. This was bad. This was worse than the first one. $50 seconds to before apogee opposed to the around 30 seconds. Okay. I have not bounced back into the Discord since looking at Ampersand's prototype proposal. I don't know what to call it exactly. Let's level this out since we're going to be out of the... Oh, never mind. We're out of fuel. That was dumb. That turn was painful. I agree. I don't think there is a point in continuing the simulation, to be very honest. But we're gonna. Because I need to know how badly we can screw this up and maybe pull it off. So let's get this at negative 7 or 8 and start ullaging. Your narwhals, well, did it work? Because if that's the case, you're not entirely blind. Oh, we're still atmospheric. I need to see these tanks in order to know what's in them. Oh, dude, we got... No, that's avionics. Dang it. Rotation. Okay, we're outside the atmosphere. Let's bring this out. Spin this up. Set throttle to full. Ignition. Okay, we're away. Got a solid several orbit flights through it. Well, then you're not exactly blind. You certainly have more vested on this than I do. Alright, 1 second lead and then we fire it up. I didn't even look at the DV stats. I have no idea if we're doing better or worse than last time. I only assume worse because that flight profile was garbage. God, it was bad. Too soon. Try to start 40 to 50 seconds before apogee. Now you're starting to set up for a burn at that time. Yeah, you're right. I got this one late too. Based when you just figured out how to change the video quality when playing Twitch through Chromecast. You can read the screen! Wookie, yay! Insist on using 480. Oh, dude. It's been years. How have you managed to stick around this long? Oh. And ironically, we got much closer this time than we did last time. And thus the decision was made. Even though this design is technically unproven, and we have yet to see a successful test flight where it actually gets into orbit, we're going to go ahead and tool everything up and get 2 of these building so that we can roll them out to the launch pad and make a push for orbit. Build time will be 217 days before tooling. I think after tooling that drops down considerably for the tooling cost of only 11,000, which is really not all that bad. Yeah, that drops our build time down to 80 days per unit. So we're gonna queue up 2 of them and get them to the top of our build queue after our next rocket launch so that we can bide time for the next 80 days until we'll make our very first attempt at putting something into low Earth orbit in what I believe is mid-1953. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really do appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.